Okay, what I'm going to do here is explain how to add fillings in a dough by first of all starting off with how not to add fillings in a dough. Now, I got this video online, I saw it, and this guy's video was about how to add fillings to the dough. No. Number one, if you're adding any type of filling to your dough, please make sure that you don't mix it afterwards, okay? This guy here kneaded his dough. You can see that it's starting to break down. He's got peanuts in it and raisins in there. You don't mix fillings into a dough. You fold them into your dough gently, okay, so that you don't tear up the gluten. This process is wrong. He mixed for about 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes afterwards, just kneading and kneading and kneading. Wrong way to do it. If you're using fruit, make sure that you rehydrate it for a little while. Best to stick it into some warm water, let it sit for 15 to 30 minutes. You just want to get the fruit to soften back up again and take up a little bit of water so that it's not stealing water from your dough, because when you put dried fruit into just without doing anything straight into your dough, it will slowly start to leach the moisture out of your bread dough and ultimately ending up with something that's a lot drier and seemingly staling a lot quicker. So good practice to always soak your fruits. Now if you're using a mixer, you don't mix fruit or nuts or anything like that in your dough. You gently fold them into your dough. So you mix your dough all out. You've got your beautiful gluten formed. Absolutely fantastic. You put in your pre-soaked raisins in this case, and maybe some peanuts or whatever. And you gently, on the lowest speed possible, you just kind of incorporate them in there. And you don't want to do this too long because you don't want to tear and break down all of that lovely gluten that you have spent the time, developing through your mixing process. So in this instance, if you're doing it by hand, maybe you've got it all mixed, maybe your process requires that you give it a rest period, and then you take that dough and then you punch it all back again and then let it rest again. Whatever your process is, once you get ready to putting it in the pan for its final proof, that's when I would give it a little bit of a roll out or a sheet out on the table. I would probably use a rolling pin, but you can just kind of flatten it out and kind of stretch it around there and get it into some type of a rectangle. Okay, and then once you've got your dough kind of all flattened out, whether you've used a rolling pin or you've done it by hand, whatever the situation, evenly distribute your filling over the top of the dough. Pat it all in there. Give it a nice gentle pat. Kind of set everything inside the dough. And it's important also just to keep in mind that make sure that your dough hydration levels are such that you're taking into consideration that this dough is going to be carrying some stuff. And so don't try to do it with a really, really soft dough. I mean, you can do it. As an example, many sourdoughs are done this way with little bits of fruits in there. But if you're going to get in any type of a quantity of fruit, always a good idea to have a little bit stiffer of a dough. Make sure your dough's strong enough to carry everything, and you're not going to just end up with a pancake at the end of the day that doesn't really rise too much and all the rest of that stuff. And once you got your fillings all laid out, you begin to roll it up. I like to just grab it from one end and basically roll it into a cylindrical type of shape, approximately the same length as my pan, and voila, it's in the pan. Now you don't have to do it this way. You can definitely fold your dough into a few different, fold it all up and then maybe fold it again, but be gentle with it. The idea is not to really give it any additional stresses by working the dough too much. If you're making a round bread, really simply, I showed the tube that was created in the previous slide. So you got your tube, then you just flatten this tube out. Maybe make it double its size. Start rolling it from one end, and then just do some final shaping, a little bit of shaping at the final stage here, and kind of get it into a round ball, and voila, you are into a round styled loaf. Thank you very much for watching the video. I'm going to be releasing a lot of these little short videos, so hit that subscribe button, keep on top of everything that's coming out, and please drop me a line and let me know what you think of everything in the comment section. So anyway, thank you. See you next time on No BS Baking.